What's going on, guys? Joey Frenzel here, Flex Training Systems. A little bit different today. I'm going on a walk. I'm actually walking my neighborhood right now. Pretty dark, pretty quiet. Day before Halloween. I have a bunch of chicken and rice in my left hand, and I am on my way home after walking down the street to pick it up. Today is a rest day, so that is my active recovery for the day. You know, it's like 2 miles, 2 mile walk, one there, one back. Nice and easy, nothing crazy. Even though I am stupid sore from that big top set that we hit Sunday. But yeah, what is this video about? I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about deadlifts, specifically not, or kind of like just what I did for this prep for the Nationals. Arnold's coming up. Super excited about that. Sorry about the dog. Sorry about that. Hopefully it gets less as I walk away from him. Anyway, deadlifts coming into Nationals. I did a very, I guess I was at a point with my deadlift where I just really have very low expectations, or just, you know, want to just inch forward every competition, you know, 2 to 5 kilos, nothing crazy. And then I just kind of train my squat and bench normally. And what I have found is that I'm able to just really just squat my normal squat progression, make sure I'm actually practicing deadlifts with some amount of, like occasionally I'll do some singles for practice. But what I did this time around, and this is something that, I think really can help a ton of people, just because there are so many of you that have, like, if I say how many of you guys have had an SI joint problem deadlifting, right? And how many of you have had that problem pulling mixed grip at sumo? You know what I mean? Probably every single one of you. I literally don't know of a person. I don't know of a single person. It's funny, I thought of this not too long ago, and the only person that I could think of that had not gotten hurt pulling mixed grip sumo, she got hurt. It's not bad at all, but she was complaining about it. Probably one of my most durable lifters. But anyway, so now I just kind of try to, you guys know that I have hip problems, or hip issue on my right hip. So, which mainly flares up when I'm squatting too narrow or pulling conventional mixed, heavy volume, just over time. That's the first thing that kind of acts up. But if I strap, which is, do the majority of my volume strapped, only pull mixed if I'm trying to be hyper specific. So if I have a big single, I'm doing that like it's meet day. You know what I mean? I might do one top set mixed, but then I'm kind of playing with fire when I do that. And for me, and typically this is how it goes for everyone, you just need to survive. You just need to be able to train the lift in a way where you're able to progress without getting hurt. And my deadlift it's been so, minimal, the amount of work that I do. I remember 3 Arnolds ago, I only did 5 singles 3 weeks out, 1 single 2 weeks out, or like 10 days out, and then that was it. And then I pulled a very hitched. It wasn't really hitched. It was just I have fat legs, and I kind of my core was, or my mid back is very weak at the time. We're gonna get into what I did to fix that in this video, but at this last meet, pulled the easiest 644 ever. It was like probably could have been a second attempt. At this meet I was much stronger than I had thought I was going to be, which is always nice, especially considering it's Nationals and I have so much other shit going on that week. But main things that really helped me on pulls coming in is not getting hurt, obviously, just doing my top singles, which I only did, let's say it was an 8-week period. I did one at the start, I did one in the middle, and then I did one 10 days out, and then that was it. In terms of like pulling mixed, all the rest of my volume work was done strapped, and I did do a good amount of beltless work, but that beltless work was more so, it was not really to train the glutes, right? The glutes are the main thing that's going to get you to kind of stand up and extend and move the weight, right? That's where your power comes from, your hips, right? When people say hips, what that involves, obviously your legs can help you finish through, but your hips, your legs can help get the weight moving, but your hips are where your power comes from, right? That's why some of you guys, if you really tried, you could probably hip thrust like a fucking 1,000 pounds. That's why it's not practical to do that movement, but that's like a whole nother thing, specific to what I'm talking about now. But anyway, beltless work, because historically, the OGs on this channel know that back in the day I used to have back problems, pretty significant back problems, which came from football and doing a bunch of other dumb shit. And I would always wear a belt, and I would always use the belt kind of like a crutch, and I would just train my legs and wear a belt, and always just have this imbalance in my core. When I say core, don't think abs, I'm thinking about the back part. So like my back, right, posterior chain erectors type area. And I noticed warming up with no belt, let's say one day I randomly went in and I pulled 315 with no belt, I would feel the area that I normally belt, like I would just feel it way more than usual, obviously because I'm wearing a belt all the time. Sorry about that. So I said, I'm just going to do a bunch of my work strapped and beltless to kind of bring that up. And if there is any lift that you can kind of get away with not wearing a belt on, that's obviously bench, but not me. I'm nothing without a belt on bench. Fun fact. Literally nothing. But taking the belt off on conventional and just really working that lift. Literally, most of my volume was done with like under 450 pounds. This whole prep. Again, I probably had 3 singles over 550 the entire time. But I was able to pull much more consistent this prep, which, even though my number-wise in training, my conventional lift is so low compared to my squat, come meet day, I not only exceeded my expectation, I didn't get hurt. I usually feel destroyed after. I was very sore the next day, but after the meet, I felt great. I felt fine. I just, really, it was just, I think over the years of just, from when I had back problems, this is like 5-6 years ago, and even before that, just never addressing the back, never pulling without a belt, and just always kind of using it as a crutch, kind of. I just developed this imbalance, which is why, like, when my pulls get heavy, I kind of crinkle over, like my structural integrity. Let's say if I want to maintain my back nice and straight, I get so bent over that when I get to lockout, I fly up to lockout, and then I have to unravel all of that at the top. And in order to kind of help me do that, that's when my knees start going forward, and then I get called for ramping. So I think what made a huge, huge difference this entire prep was doing the beltless work and then doing the strapped work. So now, not only am I not using the belt to help fix that area, and this is very specific to me and my weakness, you know what I mean? You guys might not need to do any of this stuff that I'm saying right now. If you pull hook grip, sumo, and you're super strong in your core, then none of that, this is not really going to be for you. I'm just using myself as an example. There are a bunch of other people that can benefit doing stuff like this, but just not using the belt, pulling strapped. So 2 imbalances we're fixing. We're fixing wherever I wore the belt, right? That got nice and weak, right? I would always kind of just bend mid-back and then wrap around the belt, and then kind of have to fight that at the top. So by taking the belt off, we fix that, and I can stay straighter longer. Give up some floor speed, which I don't even really need, honestly, because I already have a shit ton, and keep the back straighter longer, which is going to help me finish bigger weights. A lot of missed deadlifts come from just a shitty starting position. So this just helps me start better and maintain that better. And then we're also fixing, if you're pulling mixed, I would say if you pull mixed and you have a long torso and short arms, then you're going to want to do that really only when you need to, just because your back can literally, you can almost start to I'm going to use the word scoliosis, just because I can't think of another way to explain it, but you can start to develop scoliosis type tendencies where you kind of rotate to one side. If you have super long arms and a shorter torso, I think you can get away with pulling mixed pretty much, a lot more, just because you're so much more compact. You're probably going to be pretty upright when you start, so it's not going to be nearly as exaggerated versus someone like me. But it could be good just to do some double overhand work, some strap work, to even out your back, even out your erectors. There's a lot of people that pull mixed exclusively, and I promise you, if you find someone that pulls mixed, and they've been doing it for any type of years, any amount of years, I knew that was going to happen, and that also scared the shit out of me. But yeah, if you've been pulling conventional for any type of years, just examine your back, look at your erectors. I'm telling you, one of them is going to be more developed than the other, just because, that's when you're pulling mixed, especially if you hold the bar in the palm of your hand, you're going to kind of have to use one side a little bit more than the other. So pulling with straps or double over or even hook, if you can tolerate it, is going to help you kind of fix that and even things out. And yeah, so I know I went over this like 15 times, but so pulling without the belt to address my weak midsection, right? People think, how do you fix your core? They think about all these weird exercises. I just did deadlifts with no belt. That's it. If you're squatting and deadlifting, you're already smashing your core. Smashing. Now that's my dog's barking because we're almost home. It's a very simplistic kind of practical approach to just, fixing something without overthinking it and overdoing it. It all comes down to completing the organism. It's like a bodybuilding type approach. You don't want to have, weaknesses throughout your lift, because that's going to end up screwing you over. But sometimes just doing most of the time, just doing the MAVE movement is going to solve a lot of that. And you have to use these types of accessories and things like that to complement your comp lift. So the deadlift for me has just been it's been a tough lift to figure out. Even the years that I've been doing this, maybe only in the past maybe 18 months I really kind of got it down, and it's just been autopilot since that, since messing with that. But I'm excited to, I felt like before this meet I almost felt like I was done, or coaching is just taking up so much, and my training is like so minimal that I don't know how much more I got in the tank. But after this last meet, just not cutting, staying bigger, and just focusing on protein and stuff like that, really focusing on it, not just here and there, like literally really focusing on it, make sure every single day I'm getting in what I need to get in. I feel like I have a lot left more in the tank. I'm excited to progress this lift. I'm really excited about the Arnold. Slap something big at the Arnold. And staying healthy, enjoying training, and trying to pass this on to you guys, you young bucks. Even if you get programming from me and you don't need to know this stuff, because I'm gonna do it for you. Just like having the mental part of it, just hearing me talk about it, and kind of, using what I say to put yourself in a better mental state is just going to enhance everything. And sometimes when you understand why you're doing something, you get a little bit of a better result. So I hope you guys didn't mind the walk, right? If you made it this far, let me get a hashtag. Let's be different. Let me get a hashtag chicken and rice. Let me get a hashtag chicken and rice in the comments below. Halloween's tomorrow. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. Be safe. And I'll hit you guys in the next one. Peace.